Let me guess. When watching that Chelsea's game, is either you fell asleep or you were angry all through. One of them must actually happen. Share your thoughts in the comment section concerning that. Did you fall asleep or were you angry all through the game? Because with that kind of performance I saw, it's sad. It's sad to see that kind of performance from Chelsea as a club. But this is against Pafos. Now, for Chelsea, I've actually noticed something. Is it that Chelsea plays badly and at the end of the day win games? In the last few games I've seen with this new coach, I don't know if it's a new style of play, but that was a very boring performance. That was a dreadful performance. That was a bad performance to me. If not for the set piece, Chelsea would have drew that game. And we have to give kudos to, Caicedo, who got that goal through a set piece. Now, before we go into the talking points in this game, please follow this page. Support by following this page. Like and share this video. Please. Now, let's get into it. There was no creativity in this game. The game was, yes, it was one-sided. Chelsea, dominated this game. Why? Because Pafos came with a one-game plan. And that game plan was to sit back, defend, and hit Chelsea on the break. Now, for a team like Pafos, who is just 10 years old, over Chelsea, who is like 100 years old, they don't have that pedigree in Europe. They also do not have that creative force and that creative spark, to play against Chelsea. In fact, they've not scored a single away goal in this Champions League. So, coming into this game, Chelsea was way ahead when it comes to stats and everything and, the ability to win this game. Now, you have to be creative to score goals. Right? I understand that sometimes playing against low block can be very frustrating. But that is what differentiates you from a Chelsea as a club, an ordinary team. You cannot be that dreadful in attack with a player like Garnacho and Neto and you expect to score goals against a team as Pafos. Against a low block team. Because today's performance from Garnacho and Neto, I don't know if those guys are really footballers. Like, I really do not know. See, playing in the wings, it's not just about running through the wings or tracking back and defending or having been mobile in, attacking and, trying to, defend. What is that creative spark that comes from that wing? Majority of Eden Hazard time as a footballer, he played from the wing. Look at that creativity that came out from his wing and from his career. So you cannot be a winger and only depend on you running all through back and forth and not actually contributing anything to the game. It is a consistent problem for Garnacho. It is a consistent problem for Pedro Neto this season. Garnacho comes off the bench. If he scores, yes, probably rush of blood, the energy and everything. But what about when he starts game? Even if he scores goals, I'm still not impressed with him. He keeps running with his head downwards. There's nothing to show for it. He can't beat his man. He can't score goals. Delap had only 6 touches in over 17 and 12 touches in over 70 minutes as a striker. Chelsea won this game quite alright, but that performance is shameful. That performance is nothing to write home about. That is not the kind of performance you need from this team. It was a very good result. Yes, Chelsea got the 3 points. In fact, Chelsea are 8 on the log. They have the ability now to qualify automatically to the next stage instead of going to play playoff. That is a very good one. But if we must talk about this performance, it is a very, very bad one. And let's get into the 5 things we learned in this game. First of all, Chelsea, like I said recently, Chelsea were struggling to break down low blocks. And that is a problem. That is a problem because you're not going to play only against Pafos. You're going to play Carabao Cup, you're going to play other competitions, even in the Premier League. You're going to meet teams that will keep low block. How do you break down low block when a player like Kopama, who didn't play today also, is probably off form? Estava was put on the bench. No creativity, no creative spark from anywhere coming on the pitch. That is a big problem for this team. That is a huge problem for this team. You need lots of creativity, lots of defense splitting passes, lot of through balls, lot of dribbles, 1v1 and all of that to create space for others. When you can't break down low blocks, it's a problem. It's a big problem trying to break down low blocks. And Chelsea are not aggressive, moving the ball slowly, not being on the front foot. It is a huge problem. I know this is a new coach, But these are the signs. These are what we are seeing. These are literally what happened in the previous time with Enzo Maresca that we are still seeing. It's still a struggle to break down low blocks, and that is not a good one for a team like Chelsea. Another thing we learned is Chelsea had over 10 set pieces in that game. More than 10 set pieces in that game. Majority of those set pieces had nothing to write home about. Either from free kicks or from corner kicks, nothing. And it is a worry. Yes, Chelsea scored through a set piece with Caicedo, which is a good one. But what about the numerous chances of set pieces that Chelsea had before? They need to make use of set pieces. Yeah, Chelsea are one of the highest scoring teams of set pieces this season. But these are the kind of games you should score with set pieces when it's difficult, to break down a struggling Pafos side who have decided to sit back and defend all through the game. Good one, Chelsea scored through a set piece, but we had numerous chances through set pieces that Chelsea should have scored. And I believe the team can do better. I'm not putting out blame. I'm just saying they can do better with scoring set pieces. Now, I talked about the wingers. The earlier Garnacho and Neto start producing something, the better for the team in general in Chelsea. Because these are literally the two starting wingers for Chelsea. The earlier Garnacho starts putting out some kind of creativity, some kind of goals and assists, the better. The same thing as Neto. You can't have two awful wingers on the wings. It is a lot of frustration having two awful wingers on the wing. So these guys have to do better. They have to always bring out results. They have to always bring out good performances. They have to always bring out, creativity in attack, either goals or assists. Try to be creative in attack. Create chances for others. You cannot be playing as a winger and beating 1v1 is the problem. That is a huge problem, in which I saw today. Another thing we learned from this game was the coach, the ability to make changes on time. And we saw that with Estaval. We saw that in the previous game against Brentford, which is a good one. Once you see that there's a problem, making those changes on time most times helps. It helps to change the rhythm of the game. It helps to elevate the players. It helps to, bring out your ideas, thought and ideas, and have more creative spark, energize the team and all of that. It is very good. Once you make changes in time, it gives the team more energy into the game. Another thing we learned from today, which is the most important, was grinding out results. You have to consistently grind out results. This is what you need if you must have that winning feeling again. Grinding out results is very important in this kind of games. You must definitely meet hard games in football. Either in the Champions League, either in the Premier League, whichever. You must meet difficult games. But how you win those games is what matters. You have to find a way to grind out results. And doing it with that set piece, at least it was good. It was good. Seeing Caicedo score after Chelsea trying every way to score, which to me they were not creative enough. That creative spark was not there, but getting that all-important goal to pick up that result and going 8 on the log is good. 8 is like the last point in which you get automatic qualification to the next round. Why from 8 to whether 16 or so or thereabouts or more, you have to play playoffs and to qualify for the round of 16. So it's a very good one to see Chelsea on that 8, just goals above Barcelona, which is a good one at this point. Barcelona, by the way, won their game against Slavia Prague 4-2. But winning this game was the most important thing. 3 points was the most important thing. I am satisfied with the results. 3 points. But with the performance, I am not satisfied. I believe this team can do better. I believe the coach is just getting to know the team. I believe the coach is just getting to know the players. But it is on the players for them to elevate themselves and become better. We saw that against Brentford. They didn't do better. They didn't do well, but at least they got the victory. This one today, they got the victory, which is a good one, which I'm impressed with. But all I know is these guys can do better.